students of mine taking up educational assessment evaluation 701. We call this measurement theories, were the ones who helped pilot testing. So I will not open all the forms, but just to ensure that they are being recognized, as I said, I will recognize them when I present the results of the pilot testing. So what did we do with TALI? First, we had to define what we mean by assessment literate. No, a teacher who is literate in assessment, and I want you to know that we refer to this set of standards, the 7 areas that I presented earlier. And so, with the 5 strands of the Philippine Professional Standards for teachers in the domain of assessment and reporting, we adapted those and used them in the design of our table of specifications. You would be able to access the TOS that we developed as our basis in the construction of items for the TALI that you used. And in addition to adopting the international set of standards and the PPST, we also introduced here or adopted here in the structure of our items, as we use multiple choice items here, the structure of observed learning outcomes. We call this SOLO. So the SOLO framework was also used. This was reviewed. No, the TOS was first reviewed before we proceeded to item writing. Okay, so TOS was constructed, then it was reviewed by all the ones you will meet in this PD for 5 modules. So we engaged them in the finalization of the TOS before we requested for items from all the experts, all the resource persons that you will be meeting in this professional development program. So they all contributed to our items, and then we consolidated all of them. So these are like the stages that we went through in the development. But of course, we cannot proceed to using this without subjecting the items to validation, or we call this the evaluation part of the process. And what did we do? No, what do we mean by evaluating the items? First, that we subjected the items to content validation. We had to ensure that the experts agree on the correctness of the identified key, or the choices, no, the correctness of the endorsed key to the correct answer. Okay, and there were at least 3 people who ensured that the items are designed with correct key to corrections, and questions were formulated with the choices that are plausible, no, especially the plausibility of the distractors, the other options aside from the key to the correct answer. Then we also subjected this to language validation, and then after the corrections given to the tool, we migrated this to an online platform, and this is where we use the MS form. Of course, we set up the tool in 2 platforms. We use first MS form so that you could see the strengths of this, but this form has its imperfections too. And so we wanted to try in the conduct of the post-assessment, another platform, so you could see the difference. And that will be set up in the learning management system that DepEd has decided to use for this professional development program. So after the creation of this tool in the online platform and MS form, in this case for the pre-assessment, we validated this first. No? We look at all the items if they are correctly migrated into the MS form that we used, and then we subjected this to pilot testing. So as I said, this has been pilot tested to teachers also in the Department of Education, mostly, no, if not all, the ones who were asked to respond to the pilot tool came from different parts of the country, just like the composition of all the teachers tuned into this webinar. And then we analyzed the psychometric properties of TALI. Of course, when we say psychometric, we look at the difficulty indices, the discrimination indices, the item reliability, the person reliability, and so on. We use the item response theory in the analysis of the psychometric properties of the tool. And the ones that were that we pilot tested reveal that there are areas in the tool that need improvement. And so we improved them. We actually pilot tested two forms. We call it Form A and Form B. So both of them were pilot tested, and then we got the best item from the two forms to represent the 7 areas of competencies that we put there in our table of specifications. So we would like to assure you that what you'll see here in the pre-assessment tool that we gave you is not exactly the same as what we gave out in the pilot testing. Of course, we did some revisions to items that had poor psychometrics, like the discrimination index is not good, so we had to modify those. But because we have a buffer, we have two forms, we were able to replace the ones that we thought of needing a replacement. And then, of course, we repackaged the tool again, and that's the tool that you already accomplished the other day, as I said, prior to the conduct of this training. So that's how the TALI has been developed and validated. And we thought this is ready for use to inform the design of our professional development programs on student assessment. Now, this is the image of the table of specifications that we put there in the LMS, or if you have not seen this yet, this will be placed there later on. You'll see the mapping that we did. So we referred you to the output of the professional organizations abroad, and then we mapped this to the PPST level 3. I mentioned proficient teachers, proficient teachers, but starting lang po yan. But in the post-assessment, we will be mapping this to ensure that you are there at the highly proficient level. So these are the competencies in level 2, as this is we want to know if you are at least in this level, and then we will compare this with how you will perform when we will target the competencies for a highly proficient teacher. And we were able to put there 25 items and see how we distributed the items across the 7 areas of competencies. I also mentioned that we use the structure of observed learning outcomes by Biggs and Collis in the design of items. And just to introduce what these levels are, there are actually 5 of them: pre-structural, unistructural, multi-structural, and relational. And there's the 5th one, extended abstract, but we were not able to hit this in the choice of our format, as we use only multiple choice in the design of the TALI.